Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents G.I. Joe Tuesday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today I will be presenting you with the G.I. Joe Classified Series number 156, Footloose. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And here we have the pig hook hooky. And the G.I. Joe star, he's number 156. Got that nice carbon fiber background, or carbon looking background. And that goes around, a lot of the packaging. G.I. Joe Footloose. Nice window showcasing most of the figure and accessories. G.I. Joe star, G.I. Joe Classified Series. Warning, don't stick things in your pie hole that do not belong there. 4 and up, there's the assortment numbers if you need that kind of thing. And Hasbro print on the bottom. Small print, fine print, legalese print, made in China print, symbols I'm not going to learn, and a barcode. On this side, we got some nice artwork of Footloose, G.I. Joe Classified Series, number 156. On the other side, number 156, G.I. Joe star. There are the symbols for his skill sets. And another picture of him. And a QR code that says parents and asterisk. So if you want to scan that, please feel free to do that at this time. And then G.I. Joe Classified Series at the bottom. On the back, number 156, nice practical photography of Footloose. And then some digital render close-ups of some of this stuff there. And his skill sets again, G.I. Joe Footloose, asterisk. And GIJoe.com. So maybe that takes you there now. It probably just still takes you to shop.hasbro.com. I don't know. I haven't looked at it in a while. Attention, especially don't stick things in your French pie hole. Warning, attention, Octoon. Don't stick things in any other language pie hole that do not belong there. Don't give it to babies. Includes figure in 8 pieces. Small, fine, legalese, made in China print, assortment number, Hasbro print, and whatever that is. That, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and the accessories. And here we have handy dandy tweezers to help take a look at the smaller accessories. But let's start off with his rocket launcher. And it's open at both ends. So that's neat. Then there's this. And it's kind of flippy floppy, so be careful with that. And this is a little flexible as well, but for the most part it looks like with those disposable rocket launchers that they used in all the action movies of the 80s. This one's got a nice little tampo on both sides of it, of like a shark maybe, I don't know, but there it is on both sides, so that's cool. Then next up we have the rocket that goes in it. Neat little rocket looking projectile thingy. I'm guessing it's molded in black plastic and this is the paint app. And how those work together is, of course, fits right in there. And yes, that's as far as it goes, my friends. It's supposed to stick out a little bit like that, so it's armed. So next up, let's take a look at his knife. And I do believe we've seen this before, molded in black plastic. Nice silver paint app for the blade. And for the most part, enough molded detail in it that you can tell it's a knife. And next up, we have his sidearm, which I'm guessing is a 45. But it does have nice molded details, a realistic looking weapon. And then it does have a port in the barrel there. Now you can see it. So blast effects should fit in that. I'm pretty sure they do. Then next up we have the magazine for his rifle. And you know, it's looks like an ammo magazine. And then it's got a nice flat tab right there where it fits into the gun, and we'll get to that in just a minute. So here is his primary weapon. And nice molded details. I'm pretty sure we've seen this weapon before. And we'll see it again. So there's that, and the way the magazine works with it, there's a slot right there, and it just goes in there, and it stays due to friction. So next up, here we have his backpack. And it does have a lot of nice molded details and textural details in it. Looks like a modern military backpack, and I don't know what that was. A little piece of plastic. Of course, here's the peg where it fits into his back. And, you know, it's a backpack. Last accessory up on the block is his helmet. And it does have a lot of nice textural details here on it. And it's got, you know, the earphones on both sides, and it's got the mic built in. The chin strap, not my favorite. And then this piece is separate, but it's glued into the helmet, so you can't flip it around for him to use actual night vision, even though he has night vision goggles. So not real enamored with that, Hasbro, because I know you're watching. And then here we have Footloose, as played by Pedro Pascal. At least that's what the head sculpt reminds me of. It reminds me of Pedro Pascal. But maybe that's just me. Let me know what you guys think. So, nice paint apps on the face. And I'm guessing that it is, you know, the inkjet. So, very nice. The camouflage pattern throughout looks really cool, along with the textured details of the fabrics. Got a little shamrock tattoo right there. Or is that a 4-leaf clover, perhaps? And then, of course, he works for the good old US of A. Got some black paint apps back here, and this extra magazine, although it's molded into the belt, it's not a removable piece. There's the holster for his sidearm. And then he's got, I don't know what that strap's for, but this one, oh, I know what that is. That's paracord. That's one of those paracord bracelets. And then he's got a watch over here on this side. Nice molded details in there. And then nice paint amps down here on the boots. Now let's take a look at his articulation. The head's on a dumbbell. The neck is a separate piece, and it has a ball joint there at the bottom. So in conjunction, those can make him look up that high and look down that low. Gives him chicken neck. Gives him lots of waggle. He can do the full exorcist. Butterfly joints at the shoulders. Arms go back that far and forward that far. 360 degrees of rotation there at the shoulder. And right there at the shoulder, he can raise his arm up past 90 degrees. There's a cut here at the upper bicep for another 360 degrees of rotation. Double hinged, pinless elbow. And it gives you that much bend, so pretty darn good. 360 degrees of rotation at the wrist, and this one is in and out hinge. This one is up and down hinge. So under this overlay, I'm pretty sure there's that regular, you know, just a standard ab hinge in there, yeah. And then he's got a ball joint or half dumbbell there at the waist. And in conjunction, those two can let him lean back that far and let him lean forward that far. Also at the waist, he's got plenty of hula motion going on and 360 degrees worth of rotation. At the hips, there is a pull-down hinge. And with that engaged, he can give you that much of the splits, which is almost the full splits. It's darn close. And he can kick forward that far, which is better than 90 degrees, so that's really good. And then back, not so great, 3/4 of his foot length. Cut at the upper bicep for a 360 degree rotation there, along with a little bit at the ball joint there at the hip. Double hinged pinless knee gives you that much bend. And then down here, just above the ankle, you get a 360 degree rotation. I guess maybe that's the boot cut. And then at the ankle, tilts down that far, tilts up that far, and forward facing pin for rocker. Now, as far as accessories go, the sidearm goes right here in the holster. So just like that. The knife goes in the sheath right here. And it's a little bit tight, but not too bad. Not like it's going to mess it up bad, I don't think. And then the helmet, which is a little bit of a pain to get on because of the chin strap, but you just kind of have to work at it a little bit. And then once you get it on, you got to work at it a little bit more to get it on there correctly. Backpack, I forgot to mention, of course, he has the port in his back, and it fits like that. It seems like it should go closer, but after the foobar snafu I had with Leatherneck and thinking the peg for his was too long and cutting it too short, I'm just going to leave it as it is. Then as far as his primary weapon goes, there's no storage for it. He just has to hold it in his hand. And as far as his rocket launcher goes, you just kind of put the strap around his shoulder. And I like to put it around that grenade. It helps it kind of stay in place sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. So there you have it, my friends. A look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Footloose with the G.I. Joe Classified Series Grunt and the G.I. Joe Classified Series Leatherneck. Here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Footloose with the Valaverse Action Force Special Deployment Series Swarm Sentry and the Valaverse Action Force Swarm Scarab. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Footloose, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From G.I. Joe Classified Series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black Series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper, And for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the G.I. Joe Classified Series Footloose, I have to say it's a decent entry in the Classified line. I like the deco, especially the camo deco on this figure. It really is probably the most outstanding part of this figure. The head sculpt and deco are really good as well. He does really, without the helmet, remind me of Pedro Pascal. At least a slightly younger version of him. I wonder if a Mando helmet will fit this guy. I don't know. But, you know, I do like that. The sculpted detail and the deco of the helmet, I do like. Overall, I'm a little disappointed with the helmet. The night vision goggles are not removable so that you can flip them over and he can actually use them. At least in my experience has been they are glued in place. And, you know, that kind of sucks. And the chin strap, while once you get it on there and get the helmet adjusted properly and get the strap on there properly, it's okay. But it's just a bit of a pain trying to get it on there and then get it adjusted and get it in the proper position. Now, I like the fact that it does come with his, you know, the rocket launcher that the original figure came with. But what I don't like about it is he can't really hold it in a usable pose. At least as far as I can get it to do. The hands just aren't big enough. They don't open enough. I wish he would have come with an alternate set of hands just for holding the missile launcher in a firing position. So there is that. Now overall, you know, I have to say it's a nice entry for Classified Series, and I'm glad that we got this character. But some of the joints are really loose on mine, the hips and the ankles especially. And then, you know, the little issues that I mentioned, you know, just previous to this. Other than that, you know, it's a decent fellow and a nice addition to the roster. Another character that you can check off. But I will have to say this. I've noticed that they've been putting out more and more characters that either I'm not familiar with or just not interested in. You know, the Sand Scorpion or whatever his name is, they just did a digital reveal on that guy, and I'm just not feeling it there. And then the repaint of the Range Viper with the Gatling gun, just I'm not feeling that one either. So I don't know. So we'll just have to see what's in store for the line. I did like the reveals of Wetsuit and Sci-Fi, so that's cool. And I know some people have said some things about maybe the head sculpts aren't the best, but you know what? They're gonna be wearing their helmets, so I don't care. As long as it, you know, the parts of the face that are exposed from wearing either the helmet or the dive mask look fine, then it's going to be okay with me, because that's how they'll go on the shelf for me. But Footloose, you know, not bad. Not outstanding, but, you know, not horrible. Well, that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I'm now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content, or just help channel grow, or both. That's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.